Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. Welcome to episode number, I believe 27 or something like that. Artists on Lockdown. We're hanging and banging with legendary performers, musicians in rock and roll. I've got my brothers that are going to join me in a minute. And we've got two special guests tonight, as we do every week. But these two guys, you want to talk about guitar gods? We're talking about these two guys, Elliot Easton from the Cars, and of course, Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad. Let's bring my brother to the microphone right now, hanging and banging with the drummer, legendary, iconic drummer from Black Sabbath, Dio, and last in line, Vinny Appice. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I got my Square logo shirt on, just like
what
you.
What the heck? See, you know what? You can make fun all you want, but we are trending now because you're doing it. Look at that.
I know. Actually, I sold like 200 of these last week.
Well, I should have a piece of that, man. Don't you think?
No, it's Appice.
Oh, jeez. All right, well, we got a big show. It's good to see you. What's on your hat today? What is that?
I don't know. It's some coffin thing, but I gotta take this off. See, I'm the drum.
Oh man,
New York, baby.
Drum monster. Hey, let's bring our big brother on the air from Vanilla Fudge, Jeff Beck, Rod Stewart, and Victoria's
and his sister's shirt. His sister's shirt.
Carmine Appice. That shirt. Let me just tell you, it beats all the other ones.
Come on, dude. All right. I left my turquoise necklace home. I forgot it.
Well, so where are you getting all these shirts, and do they come in kid sizes?
I had these shirts in my closet from, gig days that I don't wear them anymore, but I wear them on this shirt. So just to bust balls.
And that's happening. Hey,
you
know what?
So we got something to talk. So we got something to talk about. You know?
Yes. How's you guys' weeks? Okay, you still hanging in there?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Except for my computer that took a dump, and I had to get Vinny on the phone and into my computer to try and fix it. And
he called me about 12 times, about 6, 7 texts. He couldn't sleep that night.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I was filming my drum book videos, and it took a crap right in the middle. I had 4 done. I had 4 more to do. I had to cancel it the next day because I couldn't reach Vinny because he was busy watching The Crown.
I told him tech support ends at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Vinny, how did you? Okay, you're a drum monster. Unequivocally, you are. A drum monster. How did you become an IT tech monster?
Because I got my first computer in 1995, and I was like, "Wow, look at this! How does this work?" And then I just sat. I was off tour for a bit, and I just sat there, and I broke the sound. The sound didn't work, and I had to fix it. And I got intrigued with it. Then I started reading books, this and that. And
then you took a course too, didn't you?
Then I did the Microsoft Certified Engineer course and Cisco routers, and I just got hooked on it. I love it, and I started building them for people and companies and stuff.
Really? So is that like an official side gig of yours?
Oh yeah. At one point, I was doing like 4 or 5 different companies, big networks and stuff, and. Yeah,
well, how
I still
cool is
do
that?
A couple of them now.
How cool is that for the company to say that their computer system was built by the drummer of Dio, Black Sabbath, the last in line?
That's right. And they still call because they take good care of it. I know, how to restore everything back to the way it's supposed to look, not just wipe everything out. You lost your data and
he built my system that I record on. So.
Yeah.
So now, but would come with that system, a lifetime tech support came with that.
Oh, right. Yeah, really. I give you a lifetime tech support.
This is his way to paying you back, Carm, for putting him in business. Frankly,
hey, I like the way you say. I give you a lifetime.
when he went to England, when he was in the Fudge, and I wanted a denim jacket from England. I was like 12, 13. He never bought it for me, so now I can pay him back. Let him wear it.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, we got a big show tonight. These two guys, man, I tell you what, every week we get these great guests, and then we talked about these two guys coming, and I know they love the Arcada, very good friends, and I'm going to bring them to the microphone right now. You've known this guy forever. I mean, tell you, one of my favorite guys, absolutely. Let's bring on Mark Farner from Grand Funk. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Hey. What's up,
Good
dude?
to see you,
Legend.
Mark.
Brothers,
Legend
Come
in the
on.
house.
yeah, man,
Really.
it is good to be seen.
This is
Yeah.
one of the happiest guys in rock and roll, man. I tell you what. And the face you make of sheer enjoyment when you're on stage, playing that guitar and messing with the people, it's fabulous, man.
We should
Yeah,
do
man,
a show. We should do a show on that. Rock and roll faces. Vinny makes a good one when he's playing. It's like,
Yeah, he does. He's banging those things so damn hard.
that's
That's
right.
right.
So how you been, Mark, through all this craziness?
What's that? Wow, what was that?
Okay. Is it Ron?
Is it Ron?
Yeah, I think it's Ron.
Mark? Wow, we never had that before.
I didn't hear anything yet.
There was a message that came up across the bottom of the screen, and when that came up there, that noise came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
did it say?
What did it say?
I didn't even notice it.
Somebody,
It was one
somebody,
of our fans talking.
yes, it was a fan.
Oh, that's
And he-
what did that?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
So-
shit.
That's
Hey,
really crazy.
When I see them, I'll read them to you.
Yes. So what you been doing,
Right.
Mark? Are you doing some writing? Are you doing some rehearsing? I know you got a new CD out.
I got a new DVD coming out.
Oh, okay. The Chili from
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, from Chile.
Chili with Love.
Love, yeah. And the DVD has 18 performance tracks. We've got a couple of video bonuses plus 5 new songs. that
Really?
are a bonus, yeah. Just for that, people ought to buy the thing.
Well, there's a special. You got a special Black Friday deal going, don't you?
Yeah, we gave away Rock and Roll Soul from this DVD from Chile with Love as a free download on Veterans Day to honor our veterans and to keep them in the limelight where they belong. Yeah.
Nice one.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you what.
that's
You know
a
what,
great
Mark? You know, love your show, of course, and we're going to get into it a little bit. But you talk about veterans, and you talk about every time. And we've worked together many, many, many times. I'm very fortunate, and I've seen your show many, many, many times. And each time it hits me just as hard as the last time when you do the whole tribute to the veterans, and then the whole, I'm your captain, that whole part of your show. That's absolutely just wonderful. It really, really is. You touch so many people with that.
Well, it's the love, brother. I'm using the love that is inherent in each one of us. We are made from love, and we've been persuaded to believe in some other shit. But we are nice, good little shits down in our hearts.
I know I am. How's Lisa
Amen.
doing?
Carmine got that look on his face. Lisa's doing fine, brother Ron.
Send her my best, please, please. Hey, we got another special guest that's going to bring to our little powwow tonight. You know him as a guitar god, definitely an undisputed guitar god from the Cars and so many other projects. I'd love to talk to him. Let's bring out our good buddy, Elliot Easton.
Yeah.
Hey!
What's up, Elliot?
Hi guys. Hi Mark. Hi Carmine. Hi
Hey,
Vinny.
dudes. Hey, dudes.
So
Good to see you, brother. So
Oh, I
how
like
have you
that
been,
Brooklyn.
Elliot?
I like the Brooklyn hat. Brooklyn hat. Yeah.
Yep.
Born on Cropsey Avenue, then.
So what's
Hey,
been keeping you keeping you sane during all this, Elliot?
Well, along with Vinny, the Crown.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. I started watching it last night.
My wife and I try to find a few series that we both enjoy because
Yeah.
she, given to her own devices, she would watch home remodeling shows and Real Housewives on Bravo.
Ah!
I want to watch people getting killed. If
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
if there isn't a murder before the credits are finished rolling, I go on to another movie. So we have to find some common ground, you know.
You must be a Law and Order guy.
Elliot.
So I've been reading a lot. I have a Kindle book, you get from Amazon.
Oh yeah.
But I got like about 400 books in there that I've read, and
Holy
in the palm of your hand, you can. You remember we used to go on the road and take stacks of books and magazines to have something to buy ourselves on the plane. And this thing is unbelievable. I can have it all in the little palm of my hand. And so I've been reading a lot. I've been playing guitar. I guess the usual stuff. Trying to stay safe. We have a at-risk person living with us. My mother-in-law is 93 and she stays with us. So
wow,
we have to be careful about that. And
Oh, my phone.
It's my phone. Oh, it's Derek Sherinian. Let me answer it.
Oh yeah, he knows we're doing this.
Derek, we're doing our show. We're doing our show.
Get the fuck off the phone. I'm talking here.
Say hello, Derek. Say hello, Derek. Say hello.
I just got to the real sensitive part.
I'll call you back.
Hey, Elliot.
Yeah.
Hey, Elliot, what does Brooklyn and pantyhose have in common?
Oh, I give up. What?
Flatbush. There's a section in Brooklyn called Flatbush.
Vinny, stick to IT.
Old joke.
Stick to IT. What are you playing?
Most of the time when we have guitar players on, they always take the guitars out.
Yeah.
And Elliot just did. I see a bunch of guitars in the back there with Mark.
You know what's cool? And Mark will like this. I got the amp sitting by my chair. It's the size of a lunchbox.
Wow.
This little Yamaha thing, and it's it works without. It's battery powered, and it also has a little Line 6 wireless. It works wireless. Got its own built-in receiver. It's a neat.
Yeah.
You guys remember the pig nose?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right, remember that? That little amp was about this big. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mark, you remember when you could unclip the pig nose and open it a little bit and get a little bit like a wah-wah sound? So one time in the studio, we wanted to get like a chorus effect, and I had them gaffer tape the jack onto the pig nose so you could swing it so it wouldn't pull out. And they put a mic on either side, and I swung the pig. I was playing, and I had one of the guitar tech was swinging the pinjos around.
Funny. That's hilarious.
Oh,
that's before the days of the phasing pedal, right?
Necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right.
oh yeah.
Well, you're known as one of the most creative guitarists out there. Elliot, I got to ask you a question because, I did a little research on you, of course, and your influences really interested me because you've talked about, Jimmy Page and some of the Elliot, Jeff Beck, of course, a very close friend of Carm's. But it seems that your influences are a little bit different than you would think of somebody who plays for a band such as the Cars.
That's very true. The people that I loved coming up were the American players like Mike Bloomfield, the San Francisco guys like Jerry Miller with Moby Grape. I loved James Burton and the American Jesse Ed Davis was my man. Clarence White, a lot of like West Coast Bakersfield country stuff. Amos Garrett was a big guy for me. Otis Rush was a big guy for me.
Wow.
I was just kind of a sponge, but I was more towards like American Telecaster players than like the British. I loved like Beck, like the Truth album area.
That's great.
Don't get me wrong, and things like Page, like the Yardbirds at the Anderson Theater is like one of my favorites too. The good stuff, But most of my influence, I loved Robbie Robertson with the band. All these rootsy kind of economical telly players that you wouldn't think from the Cars, But I also loved to wail, I loved I was into the San Francisco bands and improv and play, improvising and stuff like that. So I don't know, the Cars were just 5 very different people, you know, and it was just that weird recipe. It wasn't like 5 guys that went to high school together and all had like the same record collection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rick, rest his soul, was 9 years older than me. He grew up in Towson, Maryland, and then met Ben in Columbus, Ohio. And those guys started working together back in '68. David, you know, had played with the Modern Lovers. Greg had been playing with Rick and Ben in a different band. And so we were, you know, we got together in Boston, which being a college town, there's people from all over the country, all over the world. So you kind of form bands, guys that aren't necessarily from your neighborhood, if you see what I mean.
Right.
So we were all very different, but the recipe just made what the cars sounded like. You know, it wasn't anything you could figure out. It was just that was how we sounded when we played together, and all our influences were different, but they made an unusual combination.
Yeah, really interesting. Hey, Mark, you know,
like if you listen to like a song like "My Best Friend's Girl,"
mm-hmm.
this guitar solo, that's like a country James Burton Bakersfield solo in the middle of like a.
And you wouldn't think that, you know, now that you bring it up.
I'm just saying, I didn't mean to cut Mark up, but it just occurred to me because that's kind of like a real chicken picking solo in the middle of a new wave pop song. So that's a good example.
Yeah.
Like the chicken pick.
Mark, you know, obviously, I mean, one of the most iconic songs in rock and roll for an American band, of course, you know, and the place. Yeah, I mean, my gosh, how many songs are actually like that song? I mean, talk about anthems. And I'm sure you've answered this question 1,000 times, but I love the story. Can you take me on the genesis of that song?
Lynn Goldsmith, who was our publicist, said to us, riding to a gig in the limo, she turns around, she says, "You guys need to do a song. You need to write a song that is about who you are. You guys are an American band. You guys got to write the song." So Brewer wrote lyrics. He brought them into rehearsal, and he started showing us the song. And I said, "Well, this song, the way I'm hearing it, it's got to have a cowbell." He says, "I don't have it."
Yeah.
Well, it needs a cowbell. You have a cowbell.
More cowbell.
So he says,
More
"Okay,
cowbell.
I'll stop. I'll stop on the way to rehearsal and I'll pick one up tomorrow." I said, "No, you pick up 6 and we'll pick the best badass cowbell." It goes kang, kang, kang. And so he did. He came in with 6 cowbells. We picked the best one. And then I proceeded to tell him about this drum intro that I was hearing in my ear. I said, it's like it's doing the snare bass drum, but it's going dip up, dip up, dip up, dip up, dip. He goes, "I can't play that shit." I said, "You can too."
Better call Carmine.
That's it's such a Carmine. That really is. That really is.
Yeah, and you know, and I came up with the guitar licks, you know, and the harmonies and everything. And then when we got done with this song, Brewer came to me and he says, "Mark, I've never had 100% song credit, you know, on any song." Well, because any song he'd ever wrote with me, I wrote the music, he wrote the words. He says, "So can I have it on this one?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead, man." Because you know why, Brother Ron? Because I'm a nice guy. And that doesn't stain me from, you know, being a nice guy. I'm going to remain a nice guy. Even though there's been a lot of shit that has knocked me over to the side and knocked me over and back and forth. Doesn't make any difference because I know who I am. I know what I'm made of. And that song has touched a lot of people. And I thank God that I came up with the idea for the cowbell, that intro lick, the guitar stuff, the solo, the harmonies and everything. And still to this day being challenged in the courts and what have you by the other guys. It's okay. It's okay because I'm sticking with the love. People that are coming after me are not coming from a place of love. So
right.
I'll tell you the story right there, brother.
And you say it. You say that you know who you are. You say you know who you are. The fans know who you are, and I can tell you on my side of the world here, on the other side of the stage, the people come. They sell out every time. They love you. They don't sit down the whole time, and you are a true American band, like you are a legend, and everybody loves you. So.
Guess what? That song is an anthem.
Thank you.
It's an anthem, and that cowbell is one of the absolute hooks that makes it a hit record.
Well, Bloister Cult had to get it from you. Had to.
Well, who got it? Who did Mississippi Queen get it from?
Good point.
Who was first?
No, that cowbell.
You know who was first? Susie Q.
There you go.
Yeah.
Susie Q. Ronnie Hawkins.
No. Hello, Mary Lou.
Wow. Yeah. Goodbye, Heart. Wow.
Hey, my favorite lyric was about Sweet Connie in there.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I had a laugh. I definitely had a laugh.
Who is Sweet Connie?
Hey, don't ask. Don't ask.
Who's that? You? Who asked that? You? Ron?
I did.
Ron.
Don't ask. Ron.
She made the rounds.
She was a heavy-duty groupie. She was very proud of being a groupie. And she lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, and she was with everybody and every road crew.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I feel left out. I don't know.
It was almost like like if you played it in Little Rock. It was almost like a tourist attraction. Like you had,
God.
You had to meet Connie, and somebody.
When I met her, she says, "I think us two legends got to get together." I said, "I have to pass on that one."
It's all because of the song. It's because of Mark's song.
Yeah.
So Sweet Connie from Little Rock, and so when you toured there and she showed up backstage, it was like, oh shit, this is Sweet Connie from Little Rock, like the song.
You guys made her famous.
Well, I heard that. I heard, Carmine, that she said, us two legends should get together, and you said, "What do you mean get together? I'm finished already."
That's right.
You know what? Thank you very much, man.
Hold on. Say that again.
Yeah, give me a rim shot there. If I can't get a rim shot from you guys,
right?
Hey, Elliot.
Elliot,
can you talk? All right.
It's falling all over the place.
Can you touch a little bit on? And I hope this is okay, but I've never really met anybody that knew Rick very well, and he seems like such a, I don't know what kind of a person he was. He was kind of out there. And how was he as a bandmate, and how was he as a contributor to the whole musical aspect? I mean, I know it was his thing, but what was that dynamic like?
Well, I'll tell you what, and it always seems to surprise people because he had that cool, sleek image and didn't smile a lot, and with the shades and everything, and he didn't talk a lot and stuff. But he was one of the most funniest damn people I've ever
really.
Met. He had the best offbeat sense of humor, and would have us like crying, like absurd kind of humor, like you couldn't believe. I'll give you an example. We were at, at a high-rise hotel that was L-shaped, and Greg and I were in my room at the far end of one of the wings of the hotel, and then you got a long building, and then another L of the L shape, and at the far end, the last room. So Greg and I were playing with these new Polaroid cameras. We got those Z1, whatever they were, the ones, and we were like drawing on the Polaroid and having all that kind of silly fun. I look over, and this big, the size of like a flea, at the furthest room you could be from us, like a mile away, Rick is standing in his window giving us the finger. But that was funny in itself. But the thing is, he could have been there for 40 minutes patiently waiting until we saw it. And that's because he did that kind of stuff all the time, and you had no idea how long he'd even be. Like you saw, and you were because he was just like calmly just standing there. He could have been there forever. But anyway, he was a very sweet, funny guy, very talented. I consider him a poet, and he was quite a bit older than me. We had kind of a big. He was kind of my big brother in a lot of ways, and we learned so much together. We went through so much together that the whole band and the things that we were able to achieve, and is a strong bond. Let's face it. Bands are families. However dysfunctional their families.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way of putting it.
Where did the name come from?
The drummer David Robinson created the logo. It was had like a interest in graphic arts and drew. So he came up with that license plate logo for the cars that we put on the T-shirts, and he came up with the name. And the reason he came up with the name of the Cars was two reasons. First, he said, "How come nobody's ever called a band the Cars before? Because all rock and roll songs are about girls and cars, and rock and roll. So it's a great name for that." And then he said, "The shorter the name, the bigger the letters could be on the marquee and on the T-shirts."
That's a good idea.
So at the most extreme, you have U2, just two big things. And so it could be huge on a T-shirt or huge on the marquee, just it's two letters. So the Cars was very simple and could print really large and showed up real good. And he had all kinds of neat, kind of interesting ideas that way that he thought about.
It's kind of like Dio.
Yeah.
3 letters.
Yeah.
As well. You can put it big
And he always worked at the art department at the label to work on the covers. He got Vargas, the great Vargas from the Esquire pinups.
Oh, yeah.
To do the Candio cover.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Oh, Vargas did the Candio cover?
Come on, Ron, you didn't know that either?
Alberto Vargas.
Me neither.
He came out of retirement to do it. You know him from the 50s from the Esquire calendar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know who I mean, right, Mark? You know the pinup girls from Esquire. And he was wonderful. He came to the Universal Amphitheater when we played. He's an old man. But, of course, he loved being surrounded by beautiful girls, and he'd never been to a rock and roll show. He had such a good time. He was a sweetheart.
Yeah. That's cool.
I saw you guys there. At
Yeah?
Universal. Yeah, I was there at Universal.
Cool.
I was your guest probably. You probably didn't know then.
When it was back when it was still an amphitheater.
Yeah, the amphitheater. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys were out there, Elliot, the Cars had such a unique sound, and it was part of that whole 80s vibe. But was it something that you guys conformed to what was happening around you, or do you feel that you were one of the entities that really started that sound?
We never thought anything about it. That is all, like, as I'm sure the other musicians here will agree, that was down to journalists coming up with something to call it. We were just trying to make good music. We didn't have any name for it. We weren't trying to be part of any movement. We didn't consider ourselves a punk rock band by any means. I've been playing music since I'm 3, and my mom's a Juilliard trained singer. I ain't no punk rocker. Okay.
Hell no.
I studied arranging and composition at Berkeley College of Music.
Elliot played on my Guitar Zeus record too. He played on a song with Bob Daisley on bass, and he surprised the hell out of me because he played his ass off. I didn't know he could play as good.
But these terms like new wave and punk, like I didn't know what they meant. Like, what is new wave? It was like anything that came out in 1978 they called new wave. They even called Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Cheap Trick and Elvis Costello and Cars. They called all them new wave, not just the skinny tie bands with My Sharon. They called all bands that were just trying to make serious music new wave. Just because we came out in '78, I didn't have nothing to do with new wave. I called it permanent wave. And we'd all been doing it a long time and made records. Mark, you can relate, dude. I grew up on Upbeat and Cleveland and Detroit, and I remember all that. Now Ben Orr was in the Grasshoppers, and he was on Upbeat, I think, and they have great roots to the Midwest. Those guys.
I loved his voice. He had a great voice.
Oh, very unique.
Ben had a lot of cool elements to it,
And he was he was a rock star looking dude.
He was so tall.
He was so good looking,
Yeah, very handsome guy.
Yeah.
And sweetheart guy, a Polish street kid from Cleveland, from Parma.
I used to hang out with him in LA in those days, in 78, 79.
Great. And
he was a nice guy. He had a girlfriend that was a friend of one of my ex-wives.
I see.
Notice I said one of my ex-wives.
It's hard to keep track of you, Carm. Hey, Mark, Closer to home, again, another, what can you say about that song? But it's so interesting because it's actually kind of complex. Two complete different movements. Is that something you set out? Were there two songs in your head that you just decided, I need to connect these two? Is that how that happened?
No. No.
In plain English, Ron, no.
No.
That would be great on a T-shirt. Only 2 letters.
No. That's small. You can make it real big.
Yeah.
When
I got that song, I got it, and I got my cup of coffee going, and I'm looking at the horses out in the pasture. I pick up my George Washburn Elliott, man. I was American-made Washburn, brother, and it was loud. It was the shit. And I started playing, and I went, wow, what's that? And I went to the other room to grab this legal pad because I had written words in the middle of the night. And I said, maybe that is a song. So I brung the words out, put it on the table, and started playing. And I hit that inversion of that C chord that I'd never grabbed it before. But, man, it sounded so good. I said, what the hell is that? That's definitely going in this song. And so I sing the song. And I started, when it gets to the minor, am I in my cabin dreaming? I say, oh, my God, yeah, that's, that we could take it off. And that's where it makes a little departure, what you're talking about, Onesti. So when I took it to rehearsal that day and I showed the guys, both Don and Mel, they said, Farner, you wrote a hit, man. That song's a hit. They were right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, can I just tell you something?
Brother.
As a high school kid growing up in Long Island, used to listen constantly to WNEW, Scott Mooney, Jonathan Schwartz, Alice and Steve. They played that song. My God, had to be, I don't want to say even heavy rotation. It was on constantly.
Yep.
They loved it over at NEW in New York. Were you aware of that? You must have been.
I knew that we
had reports.
I knew we had some people in our corner there, but we took out that billboard in Times Square. It's one block long.
I remember that.
That's when you played Shea. That's when you played Shea Stadium, right?
Right. But what happened, Elliot, was we were paying $50,000 a month for this billboard. The billboard workers go on strike. We get 4 months free.
Oh, yeah. See? Some things are just meant to be, right?
I forgot. You guys played Shea Stadium. You were the only ones at the time after the Beatles to play Shea Stadium.
It was a big deal.
Oh, man. I forgot about that. What year was that? Was that 69? 70? 71.
Yeah.
That's amazing because we played together at the Miami Pop Festival in 69. And you were we had Vanilla Fudge headline, and you were opening up.
Yep.
And 2 years later, you're playing Shea Stadium. That's pretty freaking amazing.
Take us through that day, Mark?
Sorry?
Take us through that day at Shea, because very few people get to talk about that.
Well, we took off from a heliport on the East River.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be going to a parking lot and landing this helicopter, and a limousine is going to be there to pick us up. So we're flying, and we go right over Shea Stadium. Humble Pie, their debut in America was Second Base Shea Stadium. That was their show. And they had a place rock. The whole damn thing. The stadium was doing this, brother. I'm telling you, it was bouncing. I could see, and I'm a long ways up in a helicopter, and the damn thing looked like it was just going to fall down.
Wow.
So we land in the parking lot. There's no limo. So we got a guy with us that runs down to the payphone on the corner. This is a long time before. So he gets the payphone, and within 2 or 3 minutes, we got cop cars all in the parking lot. We jump in the back of these cop cars, ride over to Shea with the lights and sirens going. And,
wow.
we're coming in. So we get to Shea, there's this freaking limousine who was supposed to be in the parking lot. So we get out of the cop cars, get into the limousine, and drive in. It was crazy.
Wow.
The fans loved it. The fans loved it. And we had no monitors, guys.
Oh.
Really?
Singing to the mains. We were singing to the mains.
Is that because there were really no monitors in those days?
Right. Exactly.
I know that very well.
But I mean, that was several years after the Beatles had no monitors. You would have thought by then they would have learned something.
No.
But they just weren't making concerts at Shea Stadium in general, so they didn't really.
In general, Elliot, in general, there were no monitors. I mean, I remember when we played with Vanilla Fudge and Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Right. We had 8 Voice of the Theaters up in the front.
Right. Yeah.
And they had a board on the side with knobs, and the guy would run out and listen, run back to the board, and turn the knob and run back. I had a dual Showman amplifier with a Shure microphone,
just for your bass.
A Shure microphone for the drums. And I remember Mitch Mitchell asked if he could use my drum amps, and I put them right up in the front. I couldn't hear them up in the front, you know, but they went straight out. But there were no I didn't even know how we sang, like Vanilla Fudge, 4-part harmony with no monitors. I don't know how we did it.
That's like when Cream played Madison Square Garden. Those Marshall stacks were really like PAs for the guitar. They didn't even mic them. They were made so big and powerful to carry to the back of the audience in an arena. Of course, we don't need that anymore. But
no, exactly. That's what started me playing really hard and heavy. I was playing against those things, and there was no drum. Nothing for the drums. So then I said,
really funny. You said that, like I hadn't made it yet, but in my little band in high school, my drummer had an amp for his kick drum, just for his kick.
Really? That's how I started. I used to have one of those old Shure mics in my bass drum, and I ran it into Tim Bogart's dual Showman amp. So it was the bass and drums coming out of his amp, which was cool. And then when we made it, I said, well, I'm going to have my own amp.
I mean, how could you possibly play an arena like that?
The first truly great sound I ever heard in concerts was the Fillmore East. That's the first time I heard great sound where the kick drum punched you in the chest, and everything was crystal clear.
But you know what? They still had no monitors.
It was the right size. It wasn't too big. It wasn't too small. I saw some of the best shows, man, at Fillmore.
Fillmore East was awesome.
It sounded great.
But they still had no monitors.
Really? No monitors?
No monitors didn't happen until I mean, when I was with Beck, you know what my monitor was? It was 2 Marshall PA cabinets turned upside down, one on top of each other. And there was a couple of little monitors up in the front. They really didn't develop the monitors until when I was at Rod Stewart 77. That's when I remembered monitors being good.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we all either used Bogan Challengers or Shure vocal disasters.
Yeah.
Right.
But how could you possibly play an arena without any form of monitors?
Good luck.
By the time I came along, there was monitors.
I guess you could ask me and Mark that one.
They sucked, but we had them.
Yeah, but there was no merchandise either, right?
No merchandise.
Nobody had T-shirts, nothing.
Yeah.
No. I mean, can you imagine if you guys had T-shirts at Shea Stadium, how many you would have sold?
Oh my gosh!
Right. I mean, I personally didn't hear about T-shirts until Alice Cooper, like 1970 something, 73, 74.
Yeah.
I think Alice was the first one to start selling T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rush was a big one with that too.
Who?
Rush actually came out with some of the original shirts.
Yeah, but they were late already.
But Alice,
by the time Rush came out, I was with Rod Stewart. Rod was selling millions of dollars in T-shirts.
Unbelievable.
Alice, I think Carmine's right, because Alice got way out front as far as the whole image thing, and
they were the first ones.
He was commercial, as was Shep Gordon. They built a thing together where it was very much towards that. He had his own comic book on Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
All kind of crazy stuff. And I think you're right. I think that was the early days of
Well, I remember it's 1973. I was selling my drum book with PBA in the theater. No T-shirts and all, but I said, wait, I got a drum book. Let's sell a drum book, you know? We sold a drum book. And there was no merchandise then, as of yet. And we had this Beck Bogan T-shirts that we wore on in concert. And everybody said, oh, where can we get that T-shirt? And who the hell? Nobody even thought about it. Let's sell it at the gigs, you know? But so they won none in 73 and 74. So I think it must have been later that year or somewhere around then when Alice came out with the T-shirt thing.
Wow.
We got to get him on the show.
Have to.
Yeah.
And have him send me a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I got to make it myself.
Yeah. So you'll
That's what they say. I mean, Doc McGee said that when you know he was trying to bring Kiss back, he used the Alice Cooper format there, the example, and that's why he really pushed the merchandising. They have over 2,400 licenses, Kiss.
Yeah, but they did that before that with
Bill
Coyne. Bill Coyne was the guy that did it with Kiss.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he did lunch boxes. He did like the Beatles. He did everything like the Beatles.
Really, wasn't it Gene all along behind it? It was Gene's kind of vision, wasn't it?
I don't think it was Gene's vision. I think it was more Bill's vision that transferred to Gene. That's my personal opinion. Because I was managed by Bill and Kiss back in 1975. Matter of fact, the very first arena tour that Kiss did, I played with Leslie West, and we opened up for them. And I got to know those guys because they were all from Brooklyn, New York area.
Yeah.
You know, and they were doing it then, and that was like 1976. So between 73 and 76, the merchandise thing really took off somewhere there.
Oh yeah.
Amazing it took that long.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, Elliot, what are you got to have one of your favorite songs that you love to play, because some of those we got some additional sounds, almost that progressive rock sound almost to a degree. Is there one particular song that really you love to play?
You mean a Cars song?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that I have not to. I mean, I guess the ones that are fun for me, like live, are the ones where I get to stretch out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, always that was like the one called "You're All I Got Tonight," where I get to take out a solo and then cue him back in.
You're all I got tonight.
And that was my spot to kind of take it out, and go off the plantation, off the reservation a little bit, and then. And the other one was Dangerous Type. That was another one I could take a long solo. But I'll tell you the truth. I get the most satisfaction. And I worked really hard on the solos for those records, right? I like the compositions that I worked on, taking basic tracks and the cassette back to the hotel room and working on solos and coming up to writing them and really trying to make them great. And so when we played live, a lot of guys refused to play just like the record. And I always do. I always play like the solo if I can, exactly like the record, because I always feel like
that's what people know it. They remember. Yeah, it's like a hook.
It's so much more satisfying, and I get such a joy when they elbow their buddies and go, "Well, look, he's doing it. He's doing that solo," and it's so joyful. And I feel like it would be kind of cheating them not to,
Right.
What was that? Okay, I was going to say, what was that one that Ben sang? It was that bum, bum.
Moving in Stereo.
Yeah.
Great
that
song,
dude.
Who's going to bring up Fast Times in Ridgemont High first?
Wow, man.
I used to love that song, that groove and that feel on that song. And his voice was great.
Yeah.
The song was great.
Yeah.
He was real. Uh-oh, here it comes.
There we go. That's what we're waiting for.
Like that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, man.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, Mark, I one of the things that, especially these days, with everybody, a lot of this, political stuff going on, all these crazy things happening, but you've always stayed true to your appreciation for your Native American roots. And can you speak a little bit to that? What's happening, as today's political environment, and we don't want to get too deep into that stuff, of course. But I mean, it's really interesting that you stuck to that, and it's even a big part of your shows on a regular basis.
Well, my great grandmother, Elizabeth Connie, was full blood Cherokee, and I've always been proud to have a heart that is led with a native blood, and it's my strong suit. And as long as I wore the armband on stage, and I've been, all the different states, and Native American brothers and sisters would bring me like this ring, that's from a fan. I got so much stuff from fans. Yeah, brother. But the heart is the most important part. And I've been on reservations where Native American brothers are just so taken by alcohol that the spirits that they poured down their neck ended up coming out of their mouth, and they took over their brain. And it's a sad state of affairs. And then many, over 500 indigenous tribes in this country. And when the white man bought his hooch and went to the powwow and had the meeting, with the Native Americans, the first thing that alcohol affects, and I don't give a shit who you are, the first thing alcohol affects is your judgment. And those 4 brothers and sisters signed over in a state of confusion and dismay, signed over the country. And I just have to keep my heart towards the land, towards our country, towards our people, because, like you were alluding to, brother, I know I don't want to be out in the streets. I don't want any part of what is happening right now. I'm looking at it like a bad dream. I'm thinking, where the hell are the people that stop this shit? Why has it been unabated? Why has this gone on so long and nothing? Man, it just, something in the milk ain't cream, brothers.
Right.
Yeah. And so I have it in my music. I keep it on the stage, and I keep it in my heart where it shines the most.
Right on.
It's really inspirational. We talked to Elliot a little bit earlier about his inspiration. I know you had a very deep seated relationship with Frank Zappa. Does that resound today? Do you still look to some of the stuff he talked to you about?
Well, I'll tell you, Frank was a different person when he left Michigan. Because when he got to Michigan and to the swamp, the beloved studio, Grand Funk Studio, we drew his name out of a hat.
Really?
The same way we did with Todd Rundgren. There was 15 names in there. We pulled Todd Rundgren the first time. The second time, we pulled Zappa. And we didn't even know if he would even entertain producing our band. But our manager, Andy Cavalieri, got a hold of him, and we sent him tape. And he said, the next move is I got to come to Michigan. I got to see if this shit is real. So he came to Michigan, and what he said sold him on working with the band is when he walks in the studio, and there's a hallway, there's a control room on the left, there's a kitchen on the right, and the studio's ahead through a double door and stuff. Well, Craig Frost grabs Don Brewer and throws him up against the wall, and he backs up onto him, and he farts right on his leg.
Oh, man.
Right on his leg. And Zach knew right then that we were the band that he wanted to produce.
What album did he produce? I didn't know he produced you guys.
Good singing and good playing.
Wow.
That was his title. He said, let's just call this album what it is. Good singing and good playing. And I miss that, brother. when he came to Michigan, he was somewhat of an anti-gunner because he just didn't know. And we were weeding out songs on the album. We had like 16 songs. And you know, back then, Elliot, it was like records. You could only put 10 or 11 cuts, right? He said, we got to get rid of some tunes. What about this song, Don't Let 'Em Take Your Gun? I said, no, that ain't going no place.
That's
brother.
right.
It's hanging in the grooves. And I explained to him why. That the Second Amendment says that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and that it is necessary for the freedom of state, a well-regulated militia. You know, these things that he never considered until I was speaking right straight to him and telling him some truth. And he says, holy shit, man, I've been against guns all this time. He says, I've never even shot a gun. I said, you want to shoot a gun? I'll go over to the house and grab you a gun. He says, if you got a dirty Harry.
Okay.
Wow, okay, number one.
I have a question.
Have one.
Mark, how many guns you have?
How many what?
How many guns do you have?
Oh, I got 11 dozen.
11 dozen.
You know, I think it's definitely a Michigan thing, without a doubt. You know,
Hey,
you know,
Mark.
For sure.
you know Ted, right?
American thing, man.
Hey, Mark, so with Zapper, you're saying, with Zapper and Grand Funk, you're saying a fart has brought you together.
Yeah, man.
Right?
That's right, Vinny. You got
Well,
it.
I always said when you join a new band or you're in a band, whoever puts off the first fart, then it's official. It's a band.
Sometimes they say it's all about the music. Sometimes it's just not about the music.
Hey, Ronnie used to have a fart right on the tour bus, Dio, right? And he'd go, I got a fart, give me a lighter. And he'd sit up pick his legs back and light it.
No way.
Boom!
You know what?
He loved doing that.
Doug Clifford from Creed would do the exact same thing. He'd lean back on the couch in the bus, legs way up high, get that lighter. God darn it, that thing didn't shoot up. I was afraid for him. I thought, man, you're gonna blow your ass up or something.
It might go the other way.
Gosh. Hey, Elliot, I'm interested to hear about the whole process. It looks like you practically single-handedly wrote the music or did the music for the Corn Dog Man.
Oh, nobody knows what that is.
Well, that's what I'd like to bring up. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, a friend of mine, David Steen, his wife was on Bold and the Beautiful for years, and he's a writer. And he wrote this movie, and he wrote the script. It became an independent movie, and it actually we went to Sundance with it and everything. It was really kind of a lot of fun. And I got the job of kind of being music supervisor, so I picked the music for it. And so I had all kinds of crazy stuff like the Jive Bombers and like all kinds of doo-wop stuff, and maybe by the Chantels and any kind of everything I like, anything could be. And people like Norm's Rare Guitars, he saw that movie and he told me, he said, I'm watching this movie and going, man, the music is incredible on this. And then he sees my credit at the end. And so it's just this real obscure movie that nobody's probably ever seen, but we had a lot of fun doing it. And, we had the excitement of taking it all the way to the Sundance Festival and going to all the events and things. It was quite an interesting thing.
What was your inspiration for the music? Did you get like the script of the movie and adapt music to that?
No, I had a rough cut of the film without any music to it, and I just kind of used my imagination and my record collection. That's
you say not a lot of people know about it, but you're critically acclaimed for that. It's a pretty cool thing.
I've gotten lucky with a couple. I have a song in a Quentin Tarantino movie, the one Jackie Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, I have a song on there. I played all the instruments myself. In fact, I did it in my back studio, my last house, on one of those Akai 12 tracks that look like
yeah.
like a Betamax tape. And I recorded that thing, and it's in a Quentin Tarantino movie. I'd love to do more of it, but you know how it is, you fellas. Like, it's hard to change horses in the middle of a stream. When you get known for a certain type of career, and even you may be very knowledgeable about a lot of things or encyclopedic knowledge, it's a young man's game, and it's hard to break in and start a new career. So I tried, to do some of this music supervision, but it's kind of like, people use the same people they usually use.
Sure.
But I do, you know how it goes, but I enjoy that. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, it was really, really good. You guys got to check it out. I thought the music was awesome. Hey, Mark, we only have a couple minutes left, but we touched on it at the beginning of this show. But I would like to go back and talk a little bit about From Chile with Love. And you got five new songs on that. What are the songs about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Five new songs, and then I heard.
We bring it up here. I'm asking you to tell us a little bit about those five new songs on the new DVD.
Well, there's one that is going to come in the form of a video. It is titled Never and Always. And it's, man, it is for this time that we are all going through right now. And I wondered, where the hell is this song coming from? But Never and Always will get to your heart. It will definitely get to your heart. I did some things where, boys, you sit down to your computer and you start to put some stuff down and you're thinking of a groove, and it turns into, this song turned into that song, and the rain came down, and the rain did come down, and it's a song on this DVD, just some things out of the computer. But there's a couple of songs that are produced, and not by me on my computer, but are actually produced that are, they're radio worthy stuff, but the lyrics are all from the heart, loving and touching people, and wanting this world to straighten up, and let's snap out of it and look at each other like we're kin. Everybody. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what creed you are. We're all human. We all bleed red. We got one God, and that is love.
Well, all your stuff has been inspirational since the beginning, man. I'm sure this DVD project will be just like all your other music. Fans on Cyber Monday can go to talkshoplive.com to see Mark talking all about this new DVD, From Chile with Love. And wish you the best with that, brother.
Thank you. It's November 30th, Monday, November 30th. Talk Shop Live, 8 Eastern.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, Elliot, what can we say? Mark, what can we say? Thank you so much for being on Artists on Lockdown.
Ron, before we leave, can I talk about something?
Oh, my God. Please, Elliot, please.
I have an album out that just came out a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. And, hey, guys, let me talk about... No. But it's a great little band. It's called The Empty Hearts. And it's got Clem Burke on drums from Blondie.
Oh, yeah.
And we got Wally from the Romantics singing lead and playing harmonica. And Andy Babuke from Chesterfield Kings, the guy who wrote the Beatles yearbook and the Stones yearbook.
Yep.
It's a really cool band. Eddie Stasium produced it. And it's just, it's like all of our influences. Our second record, we wanted to make a kind of record that you like, that we used to listen to when you guys were making records and I was in high school, where you'd get the record home and go to your friend, whoever's bedroom had the black light posters and the parents' school. Like an important new record came out. Like you go to the record store, right, and you'd say you'd get like Beggar's Banquet just came out, okay?
Yep.
Or whatever, and the White Album. And you'd go to your friend's house, maybe fire up a little something, and listen to the record. And you would, but it was a shared experience, is what I was trying to get to, where you'd listen with your friends, and you wouldn't even talk. You would look at the album cover and read all the notes and try to learn as much as you could about it and all the inserts and pictures and lyrics. Right. And you didn't even talk till it was over. And we wanted to make a record that was kind of like that. Not that we could make a revolver or something, but just the idea that a record that sets you off in one place and sets you back down in another place. It kind of takes you on a little trip. So we tried to do that with this record. We kind of expanded on our influences and got a little bit more psychedelic and a little bit more instrumentation. There's mellotrons and all kinds of interesting things going on there. And
Cool.
it's called the Empty Heart second album. So maybe some of the listeners would be interested in checking out some of our music.
Well, absolutely. The Empty Hearts, I was very excited. You're actually booked at the Arcada. We moved the date twice already, just like everybody else, just like Cactus, just like the Fudge, just like Last in Line, just like Mark. We're just moving all these dates like crazy. But I got to tell you, I was very, very excited at the opportunity, the possibility of bringing Wally, you, and the boys and the Empty Hearts band. It's going to be a great, great show. It'll be at the Arcada. I'm just, when we open, who knows? But I'm very excited.
Elliot, don't worry. He says that about everybody.
Hey, I should put you in touch with the band publicist. We should do a Hangin' and Bangin' with all the Empty Hearts. You got
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
That could be
That'd be great.
If you want.
There's a lot of pedigree in that band, that's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
A lot of stories, that's for sure.
Once
that's
again,
what it's all
thank
about.
you guys
That's
so much,
what the
man.
show is. Hanging. We're hanging. You know, this is like nothing like any other interview you've ever done. It's just like this hanging out and having fun.
Well, I love it. Mark, I haven't seen you since we were in Mexico doing that.
Yeah, dude.
You remember that? And,
yeah. I still got the shirt.
Okay, all right. Wait. What's the Mexico? What happened to Mexico?
You want to tell him?
We have a minute.
They
We got plenty of time.
It was like a Superstars of Rock thing, and
they had everybody. They had everybody in the world, and 12 people in the audience.
Wow.
I shit you not.
The guy took a bath.
Oh my God!
Oh,
It was in Puerto Vallarta at a really nice hotel.
Yes.
You know.
Wow.
Anyway, that's the last time I saw Mark, and we kind of got to be real friendly up there in that courtesy lounge that they had for us. We started playing acoustics and singing songs and having a good time.
Yeah, man.
Cool, man.
Ron,
Yeah, Mark.
let's say something. Thank the fans, the listeners, the watchers for the comments that were coming in on the bottom. Sorry we couldn't take none of those questions, but God bless you. Thank you.
Man.
We're here. You are the reason that we are here today.
That's right.
God bless you all. We love you.
And that's why guys like you, that's why guys like all of you have the longevity, and you're still at it, and you're still relevant, and you're still popular, and still filling the audiences, filling the venues, because you appreciate the fans, man.
Oh
you
yeah.
And a lot of the guys today don't. I'm just here to tell you. And you guys are very generous.
What are we gonna do without fans? Without people who want to hear our music, we'd be nowhere.
Right.
Well, thank God you guys know that, because some of the other guys don't. So, but I wish you guys good health, and safety to you and your families. I'm lucky to be with my brothers Carmine and Vinny every week here Thursday nights. Hanging and Banging, Artists on Lockdown. Everybody like it, share it. I want to thank Ben Wheeler.
Next week is
Mark and Elliot. All the best to you guys, brothers.
Yeah.
Next week is Thanksgiving, so I don't know. We're probably going to run a rerun next week.
Yeah, we'll do our Eddie Van Halen tribute show.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Good night, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night. See you guys. Ciao.
Everybody.
God bless my brother.
Bye. Yeah, bro.
Yes. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
See you in the future. I'll see you in the pasture.
Yeah.
Thank you.